The bloodbath continues today on Wall Street, everyone. The S&P 500, which is the best indicator of the overall US stock market, in my opinion, is down 5% right now. Well, I guess just under a little under that now. I'm filming this live, by the way, on April 4th near lunchtime. And it's not just the S&P 500, right? It's markets all around the world as well, Canada, et cetera, et cetera. And we see that the VIX is really, really high. The VIX is an indicator of the overall volatility of the S&P 500, and it spiked to over 40. And it's been a while since it's done that, right? If we look at the max here, this is COVID, and COVID it went really high as well, to 65. I guess it did go to 40 or 38 and a half at one point in August in 2024. I don't really remember what happened in August 2024. It's exactly my point, right? Who's going to remember this anyway? But yeah, the volatility is high, and my portfolio, of course, like everyone else's, is taking a major beating. Here is the overall portfolio value. It's 1.28 million. And by the way, you're looking at Stock Unlock. This is a new tool that I use to track my portfolio analytics, check my dividends, etc., etc. Yes, I gotta do a shameless plug in here. Remember that I have an affiliate link in the video description below to get your 10% off. And remember, they have a free version, so you just want to try it out for free, but still use my affiliate link, because then if ever you choose to upgrade, you'll get that discount. So by the way, they're not a sponsor of the video or anything, just a cool tool that I'm using. But anyway, markets are still going down. My portfolio is down over $300,000. Why am I smiling and not looking like I'm worried at all? I'm about down 20% here. Remember, this is the capital. This is my portfolio, my book cost versus my current value. So like the title of the video says, I'm going to tell you my plan, and this is pretty much 100% guaranteed. I pretty much guarantee it. How I will lose $0. I repeat, how I will lose $0 during this market crash for however long it lasts, as a passive income investor. So you ready? Here it is. It's super simple, everyone. This is how I will lose $0. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I will not sell anything. It's as simple as that. It's literally as simple as that. If you don't sell anything, you will not lose any money. If you're a long-term investor like I am, we're not a trader, right? This is not a trading channel, or this is not about trading. This is a long-term investing. If you're in the stock market for at least 3 to 5 plus years, if you do not sell anything, you will not lose any money. These are only going to be paper losses, and eventually when the market recovers, and it will, it always does, and always hits a fresh new record. How long it will take, I don't know. Maybe 6 months, maybe 2 years, maybe 4 years. I don't know, guys. But all I know is that if you don't sell anything, you will not realize any losses, which means you will lose $0. Now, the $1 million question really is, okay, but as a passive income investor, and by the way, that rule even goes if you're a growth investor, if you're a passive growth investor, if you're just buying the S&P 500 index funds, you're buying index funds, whatever it is, whatever type of investor you are, even if you're a dividend investor, if you don't sell anything, you won't lose any money. Period. Everyone knows that. So why am I not worried? Or why is it so easy? Here's the question. As a passive income investor, this is where the strategy, during these times, is where the strategy shines, because as a passive income investor, it's much easier not to sell anything. I repeat, very important. It's a lot easier not to sell anything as a passive income investor. Why? Because the income still comes in every single month. Right? So in case you're newer to the channel, and by the way, I'm going to have a video this weekend which will discuss a 40-minute video to do an in-depth analysis of what this portfolio is. What are these 5 stocks? How risky is this portfolio? Stay tuned for that video Sunday. It's going to be a very important video where I break down hardcore, line by line, the risk of this portfolio. I'm going to do a deep dive on what these funds are. But, obviously, most people watching this know what these funds are, know what the strategy or the PII, right, the passive income strategy is all about, which is basically you're buying, you're holding, you're never selling. You're living off the income. All that matters is the income. So it's much easier not to sell anything if you know you're getting income next month, every month. Oh, my dividends are coming, right? So it's much easier because the value of your capital in your account becomes irrelevant, basically, right? Because whether this is 1.2 million, let's say it goes to, I drop even further to 1.1 million and I'm down 31%. You know, during COVID, I went through it. I was down about 35 at one point, 40%. Let's say I go to not 9 million, 900,000. And I'm down 44%. You notice that my passive income, the income does not change? That's all that matters as a passive income investor. This is why I say I don't care about the capital of my portfolio. Now, if you were a passive growth investor who is not getting a big amount of income every single month, you are getting a little bit of dividends, I guess. You know, if you own the S&P 500, maybe 1.3% of dividend, but it's definitely not much. So the key in the key difference between a passive income investor and a passive growth investor is the passive income investor is much less dependent on what stock prices and what the stock market does. I repeat that. As a passive income investor, you're much less dependent on stock prices and what the stock market does. And that's why it's a lot easier not to do anything stupid like panic sell. And this is why we sleep much better at night, because the capital fluctuation doesn't really make a difference in our lives. It's just a emotional damage, I guess, and depending how much experience and depending how many crashes you've been through, the less emotional damage. So I have not been losing sleep at all, right? This is maybe day 2 or day 3 in this carnage. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but my plan to lose $0 as a passive income investor is not to sell anything. If you're a growth investor and you follow that same principle, you will also lose $0. In fact, not only will I not sell anything and lose nothing, I will keep buying more every single month as much as I can. When my dividends come in, I pay all my bills, I pay my rent, I pay my electricity, and I reinvest the rest. That is a golden rule. That is the monthly golden routine that a passive income investor should have. And that means if you do that, you will lose $0. I repeat, if you do that, you will lose $0. Again, income comes in, pay off your expenses, reinvest the rest as much as you can. And you should, I don't care if you're living off of your portfolio, guys. I know some of you might say, oh, well, I'm retired, I'm living off of my portfolio. You shouldn't be living dollar for dollar off of your portfolio. If my expenses are $10,000 a month and my portfolio is making $10,000 a month and you're living off of it, that's kind of the same thing as living paycheck to paycheck. And we all know living paycheck to paycheck is stupid. So either you got to make more or you got to cut your expenses. So I don't care what you do. Do not live dollar for dollar completely off of your portfolio. It's just irresponsible, just like living paycheck to paycheck. And I don't care if you only have the ability to reinvest $100 a month or $500 a month or 1% or 3% of your dividends or of the income, all your income sources, whatever's left over once you pay off your expenses. You should have at least something. That means you're averaging down a little bit no matter how much it is. So that's the golden rule to follow, and that's going to be the golden rule I'm going to follow, and how I personally will lose $0 during this market volatility for how long it lasts. So give me a thumbs up, guys. I would really appreciate it. I have Sunday's video is going to be important, because if you're newer to the channel, if you want me to dissect my portfolio, I try to answer the question a lot of people have been asking me: what is the actual risk of this portfolio, of these 5 funds, of these percentages that you've chosen for these 5 funds? I discuss it Sunday. Let me know what you're doing as a passive income investor. I'm very proud of our community. I see a lot of people in Facebook saying, I can't wait to get my dividends and reinvest more. So I'm very, very proud of you guys. Keep doing it. Stick to the plan and never, ever, ever, ever sell anything. Don't panic sell. Don't follow any crazy trends about selling at a loss and switching into bonds and utilities now while you write it out. That's complete nonsense. Remember, guys, a big advantage retail investors have. We're retail investors, right? Whether you're a retail growth investor, dividend investor, or income investor, we all have the same advantage. We don't have the problem that wealth funds and hedge fund managers and portfolio managers and financial advisors and traders and swing traders have, where they're worried about the short term, the next quarter, the next statement for the investors, right? We don't have that worry. So a lot of this selling off, is probably being done, yes, by retail investors panicking, but I think most of it's being done by big institutions, hedge funds that are always trying to mitigate and hedge and thinking quarter to quarter. I don't need to think about quarter to quarter. You don't need to think about what's coming for the next quarter, right? We're in it for the long term. So don't sell anything. Stick to the plan. Stick to that golden rule where every month you get your income, you don't sell anything. You reinvest as much as you can. And trust me, whether it's 6 weeks from now, a month from now, 6 months from now, a year, 2 years from now, you will be laughing and glad you listened to this advice. And remember, again, don't sell anything. You will lose $0. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.